And welcome everybody to another episode of Mac Yak after a 2-week vacation. And Happy New Year to everybody. Yeah, how's the audio?
Can you hear us? Can you see us?
It's sounding pretty good.
Come on, I got $5 on the audio not working.
Can you smell us? Do we smell okay?
Audio sounds good. All right.
Jay, you owe me $5, man.
I'm out $5.
Hey, we're using my background. I remember.
Oh, I'm very loud. Let me adjust mine a little bit because I was trying to adjust it, but it was. Let's get down to there. How's that sound now? I should be a little bit lower.
It's the first thing of 2021 to go right.
Yeah, the audio.
You were to finally ship out a package.
Yeah. Did you finally ship that out?
That's why I told her to PM me.
You didn't then, huh?
Whose microphone is underwater right now?
Yeah,
It sounds like we're in someone's intestines.
That would be Mike.
He's switching.
I can't see him. Where is he?
Mike, get your microphone out of your pants.
It's not in my pants.
It sounds.
You said I was wearing pants.
Yikes.
So as you guys can see, we actually have a guest on tonight. We've got Sean from Retro.
Action Retro.
Oh my God.
Action Retro.
Last time
Messing that up already too.
I've
But
only been here 5 times. But,
yeah, no, he's only been on a couple.
Or slight nuisance at this point.
But he is the RGB specialist. Okay, according to our overlay here. I don't know.
RGB right there. You can see it. Jay asked me to turn this on for the show, so I put it back.
Oh, okay, I did.
Yeah,
Why is it on fire?
that's normal.
It's because it's playing Minecraft. It's playing Minecraft.
He's heating his office with it.
That's
Giving
how it
that
dissipates
graphics card a good workout with the screensaver.
Oh yeah.
I always like that screensaver. Flurry.
I like it, but it always fried my graphics cards.
Madeline says, Greg, you're still super loud.
All right, I'm turning it down a little bit more.
He always is, though.
That's
Yeah, he just wants to talk over.
Yeah.
exactly.
Typical Greg.
I turned it down a little bit more.
We'll just mute Greg. We don't need him. We'll just.
You can't mute me on the stream, unfortunately. I can mute all you guys. All right, I turned it down even more.
Better.
So,
Yes, Charlie.
all right.
Sean is quiet. Sean, you have to start yelling.
Am I quiet? Man, I got the good microphone too. Am I really quiet?
Well, it's because we're not seeing your hands. Doing.
Sean, we
Well, I
definitely
brought
need
them, so don't worry.
definitely need this episode in your next video.
He's gonna be like, nope. the one that spelled my name and pronounced it wrong.
He's streaming the episode from this computer, but it turns out you can't see it because it just looks straight white. So
Yeah.
I put this.
You probably can't see this screensaver very well, but
I can.
It's-
The Star Trek.
L
I
Yeah.
wonder if I can do it up on the G5.
Well, you're actually in a little small bubble for me right now, so it's hard to see you there, Dana.
yeah, I am on my screen too. I have to look over at the.
That's because Steve bumped you out.
You can drag me back down and replace it.
Oh, I know. It would replace
I wouldn't
actually
mind.
Sean, I bet. Let me see who it replaces. Yeah, replace Sean. Anyways, guys.
You feel so welcome.
Yeah.
So, guys, welcome to episode number 102. We have a pretty good show tonight because we are going to be starting our Mac Yak PowerPC Challenge, which is the third annual one. It's the third time we've done it.
And
So-
68K.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that a little later on in the show. First off, let's go ahead and get the news and announcements out first. Today, or is it today? Is the App Store birthday, or is
It was like the other day.
Oh, the other day. Okay.
I think it was the third.
It's sometime this week. Let's just say that. Recently.
How long ago was that?
A few days.
But wasn't it Steve Jobs that didn't really want apps on the iPhone or anything like that?
No, this is the Mac App Store.
Oh, the
But
Mac
we needed,
App Store. Okay.
It was Snow Leopard, right? We needed a Snow Leopard update to enable the App Store.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was 2009. Woo.
Yep. Mac
Mm.
App Store turns 10 years old today, and this was published on January 7th. So it's today.
Ah,
Man,
so it
that's
is
good
today.
time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yesterday. I know why there are 2 dates on this article.
I was gonna say today's the 7th, so
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, the 8th.
When the App Store first came out, I was actually pretty excited about it because the most expensive thing on there was like $1. Everything was dirt cheap. Games, apps, everything. And now I think you're lucky if you find something under $35 with in-app purchases. So I haven't used it in a while.
A lot of the apps they've come down a little bit, and with like the bundling and stuff, I think it's a little bit better. But I think those bundles and stuff are out of necessity, because a lot of the time you'd have like a one app and then like the pro version of this and that, and you'd have to buy like 3 different things, and sometimes the bundles help.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't use the Mac App Store too much. I mean,
No.
I'd rather find apps out there. Like, for instance, Cinebench is one of those ones that you can get from the App Store, or you could download straight from them. I prefer to download straight from them.
Same with Mac Tracker. It's always more limited version through the App Store. Why bother?
Yeah, I use the Acorn image editor, and they tell you don't download it from the App Store. Download it from the website because it's more recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't download really anything from the App Store unless that's the only place where it is. I still have that version tracker mentality where I go to a website and I download the app.
And I love version tracker.
Yeah.
I miss version tracker.
Well, I think one of the main apps I use a lot, especially on my laptops, is my Wi-Fi. It's a Wi-Fi
Finder.
Well, not Finder, but it shows you the strength of Wi-Fi signals and stuff like that, and it shows you a picture of the different channels that are being used. And in a place like where I live at an apartment here, it's very good because you could find the empty channels that don't interfere with other people, because there's like thousands of Wi-Fi signals here.
Is that iStumbler?
No, it's Wi-Fi. I don't have it on this laptop here that I'm streaming, that I'm looking at the stream on, but
there's David.
Yeah, because I remember using iStumbler. Apparently, it's still around.
It's Wi-Fi. It's called Wi-Fi Explorer. I do have it on here.
Okay, because iStumbler, I remember using with my clamshell iBook, and I remember walking down the street with my friend holding my iBook up in the air, just like seeing what and then, like this huge clamshell thing above me. It was ridiculous.
Look at that nerd.
Yeah, it was key lime too, so it was like so bright. Probably caused a car accident I'm not aware of.
Yeah, we get it. You have a key lime.
No, he's got like 20 of them now. Hey, David showing up at the beginning of the show is really throwing me off.
It is.
Yeah, I know.
It's a little shocking.
Are we almost
It's
done?
time to wrap up.
Like,
the
wait,
video.
are we closing up?
What time
That
is
was a
it?
quick show, guys. See ya.
Yeah, bye.
All right, guys. So anything else for news before we move on?
Yes, building on the App Store and in theme or in line with our theme for today, is there anyone here or in the chat that is unaware of the PowerPC App Store? You can say
aware
equal
of it.
quack.
But I've never used it.
I'm going to
I use it all the
say
time.
yes, I'm aware of it, but I have not used it.
You've never.
Same.
What?
I haven't used it.
Nope.
Have you not
Who
used
I
hasn't
go
used
and
it?
find my PowerPC stuff on Macintosh Garden and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's like,
what's the difference between
Well, I mean,
Macintosh Garden apps and PowerPC App Store apps?
Well,
the
the
thing is,
Macintosh
it's
Garden
back.
apps are
It's all
usually
one
more
place.
up to date.
Oh, well, perfect.
I've been talking. I've known the guy that's created it since like day one. He started it, and I've been talking to him, trying to get him to update the darn thing.
Yeah, and he's actually working on an update, but he told me this was a month ago. I honestly didn't think anyone was using my App Store. It's a little weird that traffic has been steadily going up, and ironically, that's been happening since we started talking about the PowerPC App Store and the challenge. So I
Funny
filled
how
him
that
in on
works.
some of the Facebook groups that are familiar with his work, also Mac Yak, Discord, websites, all that stuff. And he's like, "Oh wow, Now that I know people actually give a damn, I'm going to release an update soon. So he
I
is working
told
on
him
it.
that over a
Nice.
year
Yeah,
ago.
but no one listens to you. It's different.
He even said he was going to do an update over
He's
a
like,
year
oh, this
ago.
Rudy guy's a pain. But let me just get him off my back.
I'll have to give it a try.
So is the problem right now? There's not an updated list of apps in it, or is it that the App Store app itself is not good?
Well, he said the app hasn't needed an update because, PowerPC is PowerPC.
Some of the links don't.
When it comes to the screenshot formats and some features and how smooth it runs, he wants to do an update. So he's working on it.
Where does it download the apps from?
He doesn't.
Wherever.
He links you to it. It's kind of like a graphic user interface for Macintosh Garden.
Basically.
You just have the apps in there with some screenshots and direct links to where you can download it. It's pretty slick.
That's good because a lot of these apps, like they're still on. Well, some of them are still like available for download. You have to find like the old versions or whatever. But a lot of them, like if you're on Tiger, especially, it's hard because you'll see a version for Tiger, but that is like like an Intel one, or it's not a universal binary or whatever the heck it is. So it's nice to have like one spot or a few different spots, a few different apps or services that you could find these apps on. So
and I would love it if he partners up with Christian so that everything that's PowerPC compatible on Macintosh Garden would show up in the App Store. That would be awesome.
Yeah, or at least
So
put a
it's
link there.
standalone app?
What?
Yeah, it is a standalone app.
What are the requirements for it? Like, I'm sure it must be easier to open that app than try to open a web browser and get to the garden.
Oh, it is, yes.
Yeah. Although Macintosh Garden, Christian goes out of his way to make it accessible on older systems, disabling SSL.
Yeah, the only problem I have with the Garden on older machines is the search feature. It's just absolutely crawls, but the rest of it looks fine.
I had to stop the browser on the Quadra, and I pressed the stop button, and then the search result came, and I went to scroll down, and it disappeared. I'm like, no!
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Link is in the chat. If you have a PowerPC, I think, Tiger and Leopard definitely work. I don't know about older versions than that, but it's free. Check it out. It's awesome.
I'll have to check
Is
it
it
out.
a universal
after.
app?
I'll give it a shot. I need some
It is a
software on my
universal
Wall
app.
Street iBook if I'm going to, or PowerBook if I'm going to do this challenge.
It is indeed a universal app because it's also made for Snow Leopard.
Okay, because I just downloaded it, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Well, how am I able to open this on an Intel Mac?
Yeah.
Well, that's neat, I guess. Yeah. Also, you could download apps, I guess, on your Intel Mac and then copy them over or whatever.
You could do that too.
Neat. Cool, Jay.
I guess we should have opened with this. What has everyone been up to for the last 2 weeks when we had time off?
Sleeping.
I've been off all this week, so I took a week off after the holidays because working retail, it sucks during the holidays.
Yeah, I don't miss that life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was. My manager asked me if I wanted this week off. I was like, yes.
You don't ask me twice.
Yeah.
And
Does anyone ever say no?
Well, I had 40 hours of vacation that I hadn't used from last year, so I needed to use that before June. So I was like, I'll go ahead and take it then. So I'm getting paid for being off this whole week. So
Nice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Interesting updates?
well,
I'm
also
staying home.
I know Jay and I both got 3D printers. So
I did not get distracted at all. Last week.
It's been very quiet in our chat because all it's been is 3D printer talk, so I've been able to ignore all of it.
No, all that's making it is Steve wants to buy one now.
I'm restraining myself.
Bruce has already got the bug.
Yep.
Hey, Steve, I'll go have
I've already ordered mine, so I'm just waiting for it to get delivered. So,
What people need to understand is that we meet once a week on Skype and we have this call, we have this this podcast, but all day and all night long there's a group chat on iMessage just going and going and going.
More like all
And
morning.
when one of us gets an idea, like, ooh, look at these amazing tweezers. You guaranteed next week everybody has those tweezers. It's kind of like what's the word for it? we infect each other with, look what I got.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah, I can see the benefits of that. I'm going to get one, too. And
You just
before
start
you know it, everybody has it.
It's called keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are those Tupperware clubs or whatever? I need to start hawking some garbage on you so you all buy it from me.
So hopefully one of us is not buying a Lamborghini anytime soon, because
Yeah, I
I
know.
could print out a
I
picture
can't
of a
afford it.
3D print one.
Yeah.
yeah, scale model.
18 years later. Look at it, guys.
Well, I have an Audi sitting in front of the house. How's that? Anybody want to buy one of those?
Does it run?
Is it yours?
Yes and no.
I knew there was a catch.
So yes, it runs. No, it's not yours, huh?
Yes.
So you stole it.
Yes, it runs. And no, it's not mine. It belongs to a customer.
Yeah, what I did over the last 2 weeks is I started the channel back up and fixed that, which is now streaming the stream live, which is it's kind of melting right now. it's like really
It's about
hot
to
and loud.
unfix itself.
Yeah, yeah, I had some bad news I'd rather not share. Talked about it on my channel, and it's had a great Christmas with my girlfriend, and it was a pretty good holiday other than what happened this
Is
week.
that the screen with the line through it, Grudy, or is that a different one?
And that's the screen with the line through it. It's right there.
Oh,
I can see it.
Dana's like,
Hey, Greg, that's probably going to melt itself into a pile of plastic in about a half an hour.
I know. Well, it only updates the frame about every 30 seconds.
we were moving pretty fluidly while you were turned away from the camera.
Yeah.
What did you
I
set
want to see how long
the?
it takes
Oh,
me
there
to
it
see
goes.
that.
What did you set the bit rate to, or the
Resolution.
Stream rate, too.
144p.
as low as it'll go, and it's still like that?
Was
Yeah.
that 10.5 tube running on there?
I still haven't seen my hands up to the
it's
camera.
regular 10.4 Fox. 10.5 tube out thinking stream live streams.
Oh.
Yeah.
You
What's
try
the-
putting it in a 10.4 Fox box or whatever.
There you go, Jay.
It might
there it
work.
is.
I've never tried that. So I'll
All right.
experiment
Google
with it
Maps
this,
work.
this week.
Anybody else? What you guys been doing the last 2 weeks?
I cleaned my office.
I cleaned mine too. If you look, it's
Yeah.
I've been
Setting up that.
messing around with the Quadra, and I shot footage for the clone video that's releasing on January 14th, and then I shot a different batch of clone footage for RMC The Cave. They are doing a video on Macintosh clones. Neil got himself a bunch of Motorola machines, which are pretty neat. So
Wait. Would this be the clone video you promised like over 2 years ago?
yes, the
Okay,
first part of it
okay.
is on January
Well, he
14th.
told us at the end of last year, you said 30 days, right?
Yeah,
so he's
I
still
gave
within that
myself a
time.
countdown. Yes.
Really, you don't get to complain about people. Being
yeah,
late.
yeah, exactly.
Hey,
We'll see the
So-
clone video around the same time Greg ships the iPod.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll be in a segment of RMC's video. He already put it on his Patreon. It's on my Patreon. He let me share it there. So, but that releases on Thursday to the public. So you'll see me going and showing a bunch of clones. So you have that to expect. And then on that day, I'm releasing my video to have some cross promotion, all that goodness. So double the clones. Clone your clones.
clone your clones. I still got to fix my clone.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I'm not
I
holding
played a
my
lot of Minecraft.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, we've been playing a ton of that.
Played a
Segue.
lot of
Yeah,
Minecraft.
we'll talk about that in a little bit. I mean,
Oh.
that's can't segue into something that's not next.
Way
Jumping
on.
all around, huh?
Yeah.
I think that's what segue means.
Dead air.
Yeah, dead air.
Yeah,
All right.
very
So,
dead air.
Thanks.
all right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our next top. We're actually not. We don't have really many topics tonight, but first off, we want to talk about Apple in 2020, the good and the bad. So, what do we think Apple did good, and what did we think Apple did bad in last year? I mean, not a whole lot they could do because there were the lockdowns and everything else, but what's the good stuff that they did? Now, one of the things I'm going to put out right off the bat is coming out with the M1 chip, the Apple Silicon, because they are right now, I saw a video where Microsoft is scrambling to catch up right now, and Linus Tech Tips did a new video where he did a comparison with the newest Surface Pro against the MacBook Air. The MacBook Air demolished that Surface Pro. I'm serious. It demolished it. And he was doing it. Yeah, he was doing it with a virtual machine on the M1. Yeah. And it still demolished it running natively on the Surface Pro. So,
by the way, virtual machines are awesome on the M1.
Yeah. So, yeah, Linus was like, Microsoft is really screwed the pooch right now, and they are way behind. But I think Apple did really good with the Apple Silicon. I was, wasn't too keen on it, but I think now I think I'm warming up to it.
Yeah, I think we all were sort of shocked when we thought, we had all our bets of like, oh, they're going to be AMD, because to us we thought that's a logical step. Apple's not going to want to go through a whole universal binary transition again, and apparently they do. So
yeah.
Well, let's not forget we had an inside source that turned out not to be so much of an inside source.
Bob is somewhere in the New Jersey wetlands right now.
Well, Bob might have still been right, kinda, but
he wasn't.
Well, yeah, but he did. He did have an AMD Mac Pro.
Yeah, he was testing one. However, the problem was that at the last minute they decided to go with the Apple Silicon.
Exactly.
Because, to be honest with you, I think that Apple made the right choice.
I can't believe that Apple set like an expectation that's here and then like exceeded it. Like, when was the last time Apple actually like exceeded their?
It's been a while.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
I think that the initial transition to PowerPC back in 1994.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they actually transitioned using the crappiest processors possible.
Yeah.
So, and they still and the machines still were way better than they ever thought they would be. So.
Yeah, I keep, I was having some video editing trouble today with my Mac Pro, and I'm just like, all right, how many days has it been since the M1s were released? Okay, like 60 days. All right, keep waiting. Wait for version 2.
Yeah, wait for M2.
Yeah.
I would wait, to be honest with you, because right now,
certainly.
The only thing you got is the Mac Pro, the Mac Mini, and the MacBook Air. All three of those are real good machines. However, I would wait until the iMac comes out. At least an iMac comes out with it.
Oh, I'd be fine with a Mac Mini that's spec bumped a bit. There's just some things that are weird about it with external displays and stuff like that right now. And I know they're working on it. It's a first revision thing, so I'm not in a rush. It's just it itches.
Well, I'm streaming from my M1 MacBook Pro right now.
You lucky little.
I've got my big widescreen monitor, my MacBook Pro right here. It's perfect.
Good for
so far, you like it, Sean?
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I was completely shocked by the performance. Before this, I was using like an MSI laptop with a dedicated video card, like a 1660, and switching to this and being able to edit videos for like 12 hours. Never plug it in. Watch video, edit video, sit on the couch, realize it's still at like 50% at the end of the night.
Yeah, I've never gotten this MacBook Pro below 13% before plugging it in, and I could be using it for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Sean, with his fancy 12,000 subscribers, getting all that internet money, goes out and gets an M1.
And his hand has never looked better.
Speaking of subscribers, Bruce, who did you pass up recently?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I overtook Grudy with subscriber numbers a few days ago.
Yeah, right.
So,
congrats, Bruce.
Rudy's giving you a one-finger salute.
This finger. It's not even a finger.
I loved it. It's like when I overtook Steve, that time, and Steve just like, congratulations, you asshole.
Under his breath, I bet you Grudy under his breath is like,
in fact, I want you guys to succeed, and eventually surpass me because, well, you guys deserve it.
You know, it's not going to happen. Stop putting out some content.
There you go.
Well, that's true.
You're one to talk.
I've been putting out content.
Yeah. Watched it.
Yeah.
Watched it. Enjoyed it.
And you didn't scream at the dogs that much.
Because they were asleep.
That much.
That much.
I couldn't help but notice we have 45 people watching and 18 likes. I mean,
Hello,
come on.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we might as well
bad.
thumbs up now. This is
We're at 45
good.
That is
viewers
a
right
lot
now.
of
Is what I'm
people
showing.
for us.
For
Yeah.
anybody who
In
is
general.
joining us for the first time due to Sean's magnificent influence, please consider subscribing to our lovely podcast.
Yeah. And
Oh,
Bruce,
don't
tell
forget
him what to
Subscribe
do.
and press the bell icon. Yeah.
And
All
Bruce.
our channels.
and Bruce.
Smash that like button.
There you go.
Hey guys.
All right. So, anything else that Apple's done good before we move to
Yes.
the bad? Go ahead,
In
Jay.
2020, Apple has released only 4 service programs, and not one of them was for a computer. That's a good sign. That's a step up
What
from
were the
previous
4
years.
for?
They just don't
That
care
is-
anymore about the computer.
I mean, after the Butterfly debacle, they have been steadily improving their hardware, and it's so far it's showing. I mean, the forums are quieter when it comes to hardware complaints. Facebook groups are a little quieter when it comes to new hardware complaints. So, I don't know. Might be a good year for Apple coming up.
I
They-
think
they've
so.
been-
Keyboard on the Pro is pretty good.
And
Yeah,
I
they've
think-
been doing pretty good with the iPads too. I mean, I've seen a lot of good reviews on the iPad Air. I mean, I was sort of itching to get one, but I'm kind of waiting to see if it's going to be that or like a Mac Mini, in the next year or so. But those have been really impressive, just the specs of them and the performance of them. I think that is a very good, level up from the previous iPad that they had.
Hmm.
How do we feel about the operating systems came out last year? I'm pretty happy with iOS 14, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, 14's pretty good.
14 started out a little rough, but yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, my
I
old
think
6S
it's
is
sped
getting.
up my old iPhone.
Yeah, my 6S is getting a little long in the tooth, but it runs 14 pretty well. I mean, there are. I think the biggest issue I have now is web pages loading in Safari takes forever, and I don't know if it's just my phone or if it's all 6S's, but it's a pain browsing in Safari on this phone now.
Nah, Safari sucks on the new OS. It's not just you, Dana. I have the same problem when I don't use Safari on a regular basis, but sometimes something will pop it up, and it's especially if I'm on LTE, it's not too bad, but if I'm on Wi-Fi, it is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, the only thing I've noticed is a couple of apps seem to get a little slow, especially like YouTube. I've noticed that sometimes I'll just see a solid frame on a video I'm going to watch. I hear the audio perfectly, but it takes like 5 seconds for the video to catch up and start playing.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
The start. But beyond that, I mean, I just do some basic photo editing and stuff on my phone, just rotating pictures, stuff like that. Make them look presentable.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to take forever. And now I hit edit in the Photos app, and it's like instantaneous now.
Yeah, for a while there, that was real slow. Like on iOS 12 and 13,
Yeah.
you'd wait several seconds for it to do anything, and now it's almost instantaneous again, like it used to be. So that's good.
And I think, truthfully, on the 6S, I think the battery life for the first time since like iOS 11 hasn't been reduced significantly with the new operating system. My battery is actually running just as good as it ever has. Well, I mean, I just had my battery replaced, obviously. I mean, my phone's 4 years old. So, but that's actually another good thing is the fact that Apple actually released an update for a 4-year-old iPhone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
I agree.
I mean, when it comes to support of older hardware, every year there's a lot of complaints about, the new operating system doesn't work on whatever. But historically, Apple supports a lot of old hardware. I don't think they do bad at all. Mm-hmm. So.
No, I'm actually kind of surprised. I mean, even last year when Catalina came out, I was actually kind of surprised that it was supported by my 2012 Mac Mini. It sucked on my 2012 Mac Mini. I was so glad to get rid of it, but it ran on there. Not as if you want to call barely.
It's funny you mentioned that.
But it did. It
this
did run.
SSD right here. I had Catalina loaded up for my 2012 Mini.
Oh God!
And I heard so many bad things about the performance because it's running Mojave now and it runs perfectly.
Oh yeah,
and I took this today and I wiped it and put Mojave back on it because I was like, nope.
Well, what's funny though? You mentioned that, Dana. I'm running Catalina actually on this 2011 MacBook Pro, the 13-inch that I'm running right here, monitoring the channel on. And it runs fine. I haven't had an lag issue or anything with it.
Yeah, I'm not taking any chances because I use that for my home theater streaming and all that stuff.
Is yours an i5 or an i7, Dana?
i5.
Okay. Then it's same as mine then.
If it was an i7, I would have given it a shot. But
yeah, an i7 truthfully probably.
Yeah, this is an i7, so that's probably why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
I think the i7 Mini was a quad core, was it back then?
No, it's still a dual
For
core.
2012?
Yeah.
No, that was a quad core.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, 2014s were dual cores.
Oh.
I have one more thing that Apple got right, I think, or at least got off to a good start last year, and that's really the last thing I could think of before I move on to a long list of bad stuff to do. But that new Fitness Plus service, I haven't subscribed yet. I'm waiting for them to add a few more sports and features and stuff, but it looks really slick, especially if you have an Apple Watch to keep track of your workouts and stuff. It's something to keep an eye on if you want to work out, that is.
I didn't even look at the Plus services.
You don't want to work out.
Yeah.
Well, that too, but still.
Greg gets a workout just by taking the dogs out.
Yes.
They bring him to a workout.
Could lose some weight by getting a haircut.
A little bit, yeah. I'll lose a little weight getting a haircut.
I have something that I know that Apple brought back. Very important. The startup chime.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. You're right.
You're
right.
Thing.
Yeah, Kate mentioned that like
20
minutes ago.
Then why didn't you mention it?
Well, I figured you guys would have read it. She mentioned it way back there in the chat.
Oh, we're too popular to read every comment. We need super chats to get attention these days.
Once we go past 39 viewers, we can have like, oh no, it's going too fast.
I could slow it down.
No.
I can put it in slow mode.
All right, can we move on to the bad stuff?
It's not going that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the bad
to the
stuff.
bad
Jay, you go for it first.
Jay has
Still
a
no
laundry list.
USB-C in their devices.
I agree.
On the iPhones, yeah.
What the hell, man?
Yeah, exactly. Why they still leave the Lightning connector, which is USB 2.0?
I mean,
Slow
it's
as-
nice
Stupid
because I have
case.
500 cables for it.
But can you transfer data using that? No.
Of course not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they still have
And
the
this-
slow Lightning connector.
This stupid case is. Why do they need this stupid ring on it?
Yeah.
You're the one that bought it. You tell us.
It's
I
like
mean,
a landing pad.
With the Lightning port, Apple gets a royalty for every cable and accessory and whatever that somebody makes for it. So obviously it's very lucrative to them. That's probably one of the reasons why they're still hanging on to the darn port. But
Well, I think there's extra pins on it that aren't used. They could push some USB
there's only
through
8.
it.
There's only 8 pins on that thing, and
Oh.
it's reversible. So
Yeah.
You're only using one side, Grudy, and
so they can't really squeeze
If it's
anything, because
reversible, that
that's
means
why-
it's only using 4 pins.
That's why.
no, it's using 8.
Use your math
Now it's
correctly.
using 4.
It's 8 on each side,
Anyway.
Grudy. Go look at it.
Right. What? Yeah,
What?
it's 8 on each side.
Okay,
8
there's a
pins
chip.
in
There's
the
a chip,
connector.
but there's a chip inside of the connector that
There's
takes
a
the
reason
4.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason why that little headphone adapter and the little what is it, the HDMI adapter or whatever, it actually has like its own little like AirPlay protocol that it's like converting that because they can't actually send digital video out for some absurd reason. So it would be excellent to have USB-C just like the iPad does.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
plug it into hubs and all that stuff.
Yeah, why put it on the iPad, nothing else?
Exactly. I know the iPad has a bigger battery and it could maybe support the faster speeds or whatever, but put it on. I'd pay more. I'd pay the pro price for an iPhone just to have USB-C on it. Like if that was the level I had to go to just to get the stupid port, I'd gladly go for that because I'm sick and tired of transferring like video files from my phone and it's like USB 2 speeds and I'm just like, all right. Like I could download off
but that's
iCloud
partially on you, Steve, because you record like 25 hours of 4K footage for a 5-minute clip.
I don't use my phone for recording anymore. But I'm just saying, in an instance like that, But
He has that fancy camera now, Jay. Remember?
Ooh, yeah,
I've got
that's
the fancy camera with the SD cards.
Well, the other thing I want to complain about this case is it's already cracking. I've only had it a month.
And how many times you drop it?
How many times you throw it against the door?
I've dropped it maybe 2 or 3 times, but still, it shouldn't be cracking like that.
Yeah, mine is right
Why are
there
there
too.
teeth
Same
marks
spot.
Yeah. It's a poor design.
As you say that, as you go buy another one.
I didn't buy another one. I'm just going to wait until it snaps. I mean, the nice thing about Apple stuff is usually they have a 1-year warranty on anything, even the earphones, believe it or not. You can literally just walk into the store and say, I need a new one, and they'll just hand it to you.
Yeah, they laughed at me last time I tried to do that.
I did that with a lightning cable once. I just walked in and said, I haven't had this for a year. I want to claim the warranty, and they just handed me a new bag, and I walked out.
They'd probably give me like 8 pages of paperwork to fill out. Prove that
It
you're
depends on how busy they are. You're not going to set up a Genius Bar appointment, pull up the serial number to the phone, do all the paper. No, we got, I don't work there anymore, but we had 5 drawers dedicated just for cables. Someone comes in, oh yeah, here you go. Just swap them out.
Those
Don't need to
cables
make a record of it.
Apple's cables are the worst design thing ever.
They probably cost them 5 cents to make.
Yeah.
Yep.
I go in there with the image writer cable. I swear this is less than a year old. I just need a replacement.
Another bad thing that Apple did last year, not putting power bricks in the new iPhones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very silly.
Yeah, exactly. They put a power cable, a lightning cable, but
Is it lightning to USB-C?
No,
Yeah.
USB.
Yeah,
no,
it's
USB-A. No, it's
No,
USB.
it's C.
Is it C?
Mine came with a C.
I'll have to look at mine. I haven't looked
Yeah,
at
so
it.
here's this expensive
sure
phone that
anymore
you just bought, and here's the cable for it. So go use the 5-watt charger that'll take 23 hours for it to get like 2% charge on the device.
The thing is, if you don't have any USB-C anything, you still can't play into anything.
But you have it on your M1.
Well, but my phone actually came in before the M1.
They should give you.
Really
They should
think
have given
about
you like a.
Realistically, how many of you actually use the included charger to charge your iPhone?
I got it. I did.
I have a bunch of them around.
I
Yeah,
occasionally
but are
use
you
the 20
actually
watt
using them?
Yes.
that I bought with
Okay.
the phone, but I usually just use my old iPhone charger.
I'm going to say because I have like USB power strips everywhere that I use to charge my phones and my iPad, and truthfully, I think they charge faster than the included ones. I mean, my iPhone, I can charge my iPhone from 20, what was it, 18% this morning because I forgot to plug it in last night. It went from 18 to 80 or 94% in less than an hour this morning.
And which one was that? Which charger?
It's one that's built into one of my power strips in my bedroom.
Well, I filled up.
It's a 2.1 amp outlet. I don't know exactly how many watts it is. It's pretty powerful, though. I mean, it charges my phone in no time. My phone actually does the what the hell do they call it?
The saving because it charged up to 80% or whatever.
Yeah,
it'll
the battery.
It'll like slow charge overnight normally, but because I forgot to plug it in last night, it just did a fast charge and like
it got angry at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
made a habit of filling up the house in different areas with 10 and 12 watt iPod and pad chargers because they charge faster. So I still use those mostly, but I do have a 20 watt. I never use it because I keep losing it.
So you got to buy more.
Yeah.
They should have put a rebate type thing, like, you know, with the phone. If you want to buy a charger, you get a percentage off, or you could mail away or get
That would have been nice.
Redeem it, or because that gives you the option of like how many people are going to do it. The people who want the cable, or the people who are cheap assholes like me.
Well,
you know?
especially if they're, you know, they were talking about, well, people already have the charge. Well, they have all the USB-A charger blocks. I have tons of those. Nobody has the USB-C ones really yet. I mean,
I don't.
Yeah, because this is the first device that they actually came out with it, besides the iPad Pro, you know, that had a USB-C charger port on it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's a little silly of them. If they gave like a warning, like, hey, FYI, this is the last one we're going to ship with it, or whatever. Or did like the program, like I said, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not just Apple doing it though. Just about any device you buy nowadays doesn't seem to have.
Well, that's because Samsung copies Apple as soon as they do something.
Yeah, because everyone's thinking, well, Apple can get away with it. We could do the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, look at Samsung. They took away the headphone jack.
After
they made fun
on the bottom of it.
Yeah, after they made fun of Apple for taking it off, you know.
Sean, how many RGB lights do you have in your phone there?
Oh, they're all inside. You can't see them. I have microscopic RGB in here.
Oh, damn. I got one more thing that Apple did right.
We're on the bad stuff, though, man.
Yeah. No, sorry. This has to be mentioned.
All right.
They could have just done a Zoom call or some cheap one guy on an empty stage, but the way they did their events was pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Well, but they were also kind of corny, especially with the weird backgrounds and stuff.
Yeah, but fun. I mean, it was. Corny. I didn't care much for any of the information they had, but the animations and all that stuff, it was cool to watch.
Oh, and the backgrounds of like the labs and stuff that had all the vintage Macs in the background.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was the best part of it. Trying to find the iMac and the SE and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add two bad things that they've done. One is, my little pet bugbear that I've just, gone on about ever since it happened, and that is iOS 14 has sort of stuffed up the magnifier. It's nowhere near as good a quality as it was in 13. So that really annoys me because it's just unnecessary. But the other, of course, is them going backwards in terms of their repairability with all of the new devices that came out in 2020. In terms of the phones and the computers, all of them, they have they've taken a step backwards.
Well, especially
even harder.
Especially even the new iMac that came out recently was horrible because they soldered all the RAM is soldered on, all the everything is soldered on, even the SSD. So you can't. I mean, all that space in an iMac, and you can't put an M1 SSD in there, or you can't put regular, SODIMM RAM in it.
Yeah, but it's important to have more empty space in an iMac so it can produce a resemblance of a bass when you listen to music. More empty space.
And also for cooling.
But yeah, getting back to Bruce's thing, this is the first year I've ever bought Apple Care for anything because I figured if I actually broke something, I could just fix it myself.
And you're going to break it. So.
You mean when?
Yeah.
It's not if, it's when.
The fact that with the phones now, I mean, you can't, you can't do some of the most basic stuff that you would do on an iPhone before. I mean, if you're doing some repairs, I mean, replacing screens, replacing cameras, replacing batteries, that sort of thing. I mean, they've just made it harder and harder to do.
Basically,
repairing all of these things.
It's been proven everything on the iPhone 12 is not repairable. Everything.
And that's a friggin' disgrace, really. Yeah. I mean, that's they.
So much for Apple being green.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Green as in
they're only green when it saves them money. Including a charger.
Yeah, I forgot about the Mac Mini losing the replaceable memory and the SSD. Well, the SSD was already soldered on the Intel one, but I forgot about that on the M1 machine. Hopefully they change that, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, they went
Anytime soon.
they went the other way with the sort of the what do you call it, the Mac Pro that they brought out. That was that was so accessible, and there was that hope that this could be a way that they're moving, but clearly not.
Clearly, we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
No. And I don't have any more bad stuff to say about Apple either last year.
What do you think
Alright.
of
One
the?
thing I really don't like is MagSafe 2. Just the fact that they
Yeah.
called that MagSafe 2.
They shouldn't have.
It's not.
That's
MagSafe.
not MagSafe
Well,
because
It's an insult to the
Mag.
memory of
It's
Mag.
Mag lame.
Well, what I think they should have done is came up with a more creative name for Rosetta 2. Because even though
that
it
stuff
works
makes sense.
fairly decently,
Rosette 2.
I just
You
think
work in marketing?
there's
Yeah.
not much
No.
creativeness just calling it Rosetta 2.
Well, they already had probably all the trademarks and crap for MagSafe. They're like, what do you want to call it? Oh, MagSafe 2.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
bring
sold.
MagSafe
Go.
back.
Good.
It's not MagSafe though, because if you attach that to your phone and trip over the cable, your phone goes
Phone
flying.
goes
It
flying.
goes
Mag more
flying and
dangerous.
it gets really hot.
Hot
Like
safe.
really
Hot
hot.
safe.
Yeah, hot safe.
Marketing people
Carl
don't like
Swordfish
that.
said Mozetta.
Nice.
But yeah, it's I wouldn't call that MagSafe at all because it like we just said, it just pulls the phone off the table, and if you don't have a case and a screen
You
protector
can literally
on it.
hold it by it.
Yeah,
wouldn't
I know.
recommend it.
Rudy, can you do
And
a
now we know
Well,
how Rudy
I'm
got the
not
cracks in his case.
So it clearly should be called Mag Unsafe.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there you
Mag
go.
Worse.
All right, guys. So now that we talked about 2020, let's talk about Apple coming up in 2021. What do we think that is going to happen this year with Apple?
They're going to do stuff.
M2.
I think so. I think we're going to see more Apple Silicon and more Apple
We need
products.
an iMac, don't we? We
I
definitely
think-
need an iMac.
I think an
New
iMac.
design iMac.
I think a new iMac's going to come out. It's probably going to be the same design, unfortunately, because look at the Mac Mini and look at the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro that they just came out with. It's the same exact design as it was before. So
Right, they're not going to change the form factor, but
I don't
isn't it like putting the logic board, an M1 logic board inside a case, like putting an iPhone inside of a pizza box?
pretty much.
Isn't that kind of how it is? Like it's
Put
so
two
much
of them in
smaller
there.
now, but the case is the same size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, that might
Oh, it
work
just
for the
feels
iMac.
cool
They need
then.
cooling. So
Well,
what's that, Mike?
At least it should be able to stay cool. I mean,
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
you look at the MacBook Air. I don't think does it have fans?
No.
Yeah.
no.
So, and it doesn't even get hot because if you look at it, it's the same, almost the same silicon as like an iPad. An iPad doesn't have fans in it, so.
Yeah.
I think they may also release some as a low-end option Intel Macs, possibly.
Well, I'm still thinking about that because the Intel Mac Mini is the more expensive model right now. But
Yeah.
Tim Cook was like, "Oh, we'll still have some great Intel products this year."
Yeah.
I'm wondering because of the freaking fantastic response that they got from these M1 Macs, if they are even thinking of releasing as many as the Intel
Yeah.
models that they originally thought of, because obviously from a compatibility standpoint, you're still going to need people that are going to have an Intel hardware system for the foreseeable future until all the apps are updated and so on and so forth. But I think that the amount of good press and publicity that everyone has been giving these machines, I mean, not even just in the Mac community. I mean, you look at, places like PC Magazine and stuff like that and all these other news sites that have just
Linus
been
Tech
blown
Tips.
away, by the speed of these things.
Yeah.
It really makes me wonder if they're going to release as many Intel machines as they said they would, or if that was just like a reassurance of like, it's all right, guys, we're still releasing one.
I think they're going to back off of that. I think they're going to speed up the process of getting the M2 and later on the M3 out.
Well, that's what they did in the Intel transition. They figured it would take into mid-2007 to get everything transitioned over.
And Grudy, what PowerPC machines did they release during that time frame?
Exactly. They didn't
Yeah.
release any.
So, I'm very curious if if I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they release like one or two just like speed bumps just to keep like the product code in their inventory system.
Yeah.
I'm just very curious.
Well, the other thing too is Apple may be under contract with Intel to use a certain amount of their processors.
Yeah.
until
It's more than likely. Yeah.
I could see
They
them
didn't
blowing
have
that
that.
on education market.
Yeah.
You know,
But you see,
schools
they
and all
didn't
that
have that
stuff are
kind
not
of
going to do
arrangement.
massive upgrades to new apps to accommodate the new architecture or stuff. So maybe education models.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but that's
People in
it.
chat,
That's probably
people in
why.
chat are saying, "What are we looking at as far as you think we're going to see more cores basically?"
Oh, yes.
with the
Oh, yeah.
Well, definitely.
this year.
They only predict that the M2's going to have twice the cores in it.
Yeah.
I want to see
yeah.
multiple CPUs though, just because they can.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
There's room.
I would love to have
There's
like
room.
4 of those Mac Mini logic boards with just like a little interconnect cable on the iMac. It's just like 4 of them sitting in that case.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, at first, I was thinking, having the memory on the actual same die as the CPU was a bad idea, but the way it works, I mean, it makes it so much faster.
Yeah.
And that's actually what makes the M1 as fast as it is, because everything's processed right there on the die. I mean, you don't have to go out and search the chipset, because everything's right there. So
You can fit 4 M1 chips where a Xeon currently sits. So why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Yep.
Don't put thoughts in my head I'm never going to be able to have, because it's like whenever the new M1, M2 or whatever comes out, if it doesn't have like that many chips on it, I'd be like, oh, now gotta wait till the next one.
So do you guys think we're going to see a blend, even though they keep saying it's not going to happen? Are we going to see a touchscreen Mac this year?
I hope
I don't
not.
think so.
I hope
I
not.
don't think so.
I mean, I hope not, but people want it just for the sake
If
of having
anything,
it.
they'll
No.
just update the iPad Pro again.
I'm going to tell you something. I have one of those Surface Pros that has the touchscreen on it. It's like a laptop, pretty much. And Steve Jobs is right. Sitting up there trying to touch the screen is doing it a whole lot with your arm is tedious, and it gives you muscle fatigue. So going up there touching a screen like that, is not the best way, not the most ergonomic way to do anything with.
I'm
I
going
don't
to
know. I
buck
always
the
found it
trend.
very ergonomic, actually. Like,
What?
I used to have a touchscreen laptop. I used to, lay on the couch and have the screen right here, and then just like touch it with your finger, right? Because if you have to like touch the keyboard and mouse, you're like reaching down.
Mhm.
If you're
I-
sitting, it's very convenient.
Well,
I think.
that's the reason why you have the Surface Pro is a convertible. It'll convert to a tablet. Then you can make it a tablet and do exactly what you want to do.
I don't want to see the keyboard and trackpad go, but I would actually be happy to have a touchscreen sort of laptop. I actually disagree. I think it would actually be really good. I don't know how much I would use, but there have been times when I've had a laptop where I've thought, I'd love to have a touchscreen for this.
Well, see, I get on my wife all the time when she comes in here and touches my screen, because she likes to touch the screen, and I hate fingerprints on my screen. That's just me.
I could totally see them putting like the touchscreen technology that's in like the iPad or whatever on a MacBook, and then also supporting the Apple Pencil and being like a convertible type thing. Because if you want to get to the creative market of people and sell them a MacBook Pro that has premium features, and then like layer pencil support or whatever, like that's just like something that another company is doing, but like Apple could make it a little bit better, because the pens in a lot of these PC tablets aren't the best. But if you have something like Apple Pencil with the layer support and all this stuff, like I think that would be a nice progression. I don't know if we're gonna ever see that, because obviously Apple only makes things that they think the majority of people are going to buy. They don't really make things in a niche market for a niche market anymore. So I'd be curious to see if they ever do something like that.
So we got mixed reviews in the chat here. I was looking, a lot of people, like Joey said he has a Surface Pro 2 and mainly uses the trackpad. It's the same with me. That Surface Pro I have, I use the trackpad. I don't like to use the touchscreen much. I have the pen, and it's a pain to use. The way Microsoft developed that is just stupid. Now, Apple may do a little bit different and make it better. I mean, Apple usually does do things a little bit better when they come out with a product. So we'll have to wait and see. If they do come out with a touchscreen, it might change. It may change my mind. But
and I think with iOS 14, them adopting a lot of the stuff that the Newton 2.0 had with their scribbling and it converting that into type and everything, if they enhance that and keep going that direction, I could totally see them doing that on a laptop. But that's if they actually put a touchscreen in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do we think we're going to see all the laptops, or at least the higher end ones, upgraded with 5G capabilities?
Probably. I would bet money on that they would have to do this. They have to put cellular service in laptops because
See, I disagree. I think it's another regulatory hoop they got to jump through. It's another thing they got to update frequently. The modems are expensive. That's why the iPhone 12s cost more.
And
Although
5G is
they're
not that.
developing their own.
5G just isn't that common yet.
Well, yeah, it's not that common yet. And also, why didn't they do it for 3G and 4G and LTE and all this crap? Because every country has their own regulations. Every country has their own bans and all this stuff. So it's like, if you really want it, you go down to the store to your cellular provider, get a $49 hotspot, and that's it. You know,
But that's always how it's
iPhone.
been, the cellular market.
Yeah,
But
or you
they've
use
been
your iPhone.
experimenting with it since one of the first MacBook Pros. You remember that prototype?
The first MacBook Air had the antennas on it as well. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying they wouldn't do it. I'm just saying I think it's a better sell for Apple to say, go buy this hotspot or use your iPhone rather than jumping through hoops to put them in.
That sounds to me like you're saying they're not going to do it, Steve.
I don't think they will.
I don't think
The
they're
only
going to do
thing
it.
that I
How do I
would
know?
say, the only thing I would say slightly against that is the fact that with what's happened over the last sort of 12 months or whatever, there's a lot more people working from home, and I think that having cellular capability in a laptop is sort of something from the the work from home side of things is probably an important thing, and that market I think would definitely have increased. So there might be more of a demand for it.
I guess if they could do it with the iPads and stuff, I guess why couldn't they do it with the MacBooks? I just don't see it.
I don't see it either.
well, with the merging of the iOS and Mac OS, it's you're probably going to see that also merged in there.
But we didn't mention. I tried to mention it earlier. Apple is developing their own iPhone modems.
well, yeah,
So
because
the radios.
they want to get away from Qualcomm because Qualcomm has a
there might
chokehold
be
on
a
it.
chance. There might be a chance.
Oh, I'm not. I don't know. It wouldn't probably personally benefit me, but I could totally see a use case for it. So I guess it just has to be: is there enough people that want that feature for them to actually put it in there?
Right.
There's one more thing I would like to see this year, and that is the death of 720p cameras.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Yes,
For
yeah.
goodness sake, yeah.
Yeah.
I second that.
I mean, I
Yes.
don't care how thick you make the screen. Make the camera be able to focus and make it at least HD. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You're paying $1,500 for a laptop.
No kid.
Yeah, give me a thicker screen.
$1,500.
At least that.
At least that.
Yeah, exactly. Starting price.
All right, guys.
No,
so
yeah, they make the camera so nice on the phone, make them as good on the Mac.
Yeah.
So now we got to get to our next, our last topic of the evening, and it's probably going to be our longest one. So I think we're going to go over 2 hours tonight, guys. So
And
I want to make it an hour and a half, so I leave it at 9:30.
yeah. All right. So everybody should know by now that we are doing the third annual PowerPC /68K challenge, or 68K and PowerPC challenge. That's the way Jay put it on the slide there. So, but anyways,
Steve gets offended if I leave that out.
we started.
Both
We
deeply
started this. We started this 3 years ago. I was one of the first ones that did it. I think Jay did it, and one other person. I can't remember. We only had like
I
three
did
of
it.
us.
I
do
just
it.
never wrote anything about it.
Yeah, I did it partially.
Yeah.
This year I'm full on.
Well, I was full on that first year. The second year, I wasn't really a participant much, but I'm going to participate this year pretty much. But Jay, you want to go ahead and throw in the link to the where the blog is, so you can they can read.
Yeah, let me look it up.
The blog.
The rules and how they must use it. Well, they don't have to use it. It's not a must. It's
Starbuck Tech doesn't have a PowerPC. I think he has to go buy one.
Ooh.
Trina, this is her first time doing it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. All right, so Jay just
I think
threw.
it'll be a lot of people's first time.
Yeah, Jay just threw
My
up the
first
link
time.
there. So
My first time.
There you go.
Awesome.
this will be my third time because, like I said, the second time I did kind of, but I didn't do a lot. But
Yeah, this is technically my third time too.
yeah.
Yeah, I did a kind of a partial last year, but it wasn't.
We half-assed
wasn't
it.
very, I didn't have a lot of luck with it this year.
Well,
What-
the first
what's-
year I half-assed it because I had the iMac G4 with the graphics issues, so I used it for iTunes, a little bit of Dreamweaver, basic stuff, not as much as I wanted to. Last year, I went all in with the G4, and I think I went for 2 weeks. So
Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
it was awesome.
yeah. And I originally suggested we do this back in, what was it, early 2019, which was the first one, wasn't it?
2018.
That was the second one.
No, that was
That-
early
2020,
tw-
January 2020, so January 2019 was our first one.
Yeah, early 2019. And that year I used my G5 Quad.
Oh, yeah.
Last year I used my 1.6 iMac G5, which was not fun. So this year is going to be a lot better, I hope.
What is that, a 2.0?
That's the 2.1 G5 and
Extra 500 megahertz is going to make a difference.
it has so far, and it's got DDR2.
That's because you put a good heatsink on there and a good thermal paste on there. That's probably why.
Well, I did on the other one too. It
Oh.
ran like crap.
The 2. The G5 iSight iMacs are a lot. It's like night and day compared to the original G5 iMacs.
And you should know,
The-
Mike. You have the prototype.
Yeah, I have the same exact one. It's like the whole. It's not even the same computer. It's like totally different.
Yeah.
I mean, the iSight's got DDR2. It's got PCI Express. It's got ATI graphics. It's got ATI PCI Express graphics.
Yeah.
Now it's still stuck on a SATA 1 hard drive interface, which kind of sucks. I think that's the biggest bottleneck, but an SSD cures that pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't the G5 still on SATA 1 as well?
Yeah.
All of them are, yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't
all
go
are.
to SATA 2 until the Mac Pro.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's the biggest bottleneck on the whole computer. I mean, it's got everything. I mean, it's got gigabit Ethernet. It's got USB 2. Now it's only got FireWire 400, but that's usually sufficient for a G5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that kind of sucks is the fact it's only one processor, where the towers have usually at least two.
At least two.
That's the only thing that I've kind of noticed it's kind of lacking. But it's an iMac. It's not a professional level computer either.
Yeah.
It was meant for the Joe Blow at home to put on their kitchen counter.
Mm.
For an iMac, I think it runs pretty damn good, personally. Your mileage may vary, but
I agree. I totally agree.
Well, I
All
would
right.
only consider using an iMac G5 if it had an SD card reader.
Now, put it this way: I'm not going to need to turn the heat up very high in my bedroom
It's getting hot in here. Just
because I had mine running.
Yeah, I've got my G5
I had
right
mine
here.
running the other
I can
night.
feel it.
And
My G5's
let me
right
tell
over
you,
here
it started
running.
to heat up.
Yeah, all your cats are going to be like right up against the iMac.
Yeah, my cat was laying behind my G5.
Yeah, I usually have a little heater in the basement. I don't think I'm going to need that with the G5 running.
Oh, someone suggested the other day. I don't remember where it was from, but I want to build a PowerBook G5.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah. Just build it out of an iMac and then like a suitcase or something, so it can still cool.
Suitcase.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And the
It's gonna be-
suitcase will
it's
melt.
gonna be like-
case with a refrigeration unit, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be like a flowery, like old ladies, like huge, like international travel bag, and there's just gonna be a G5 tower just shoved in one end. That's gonna be it.
I reckon as a hats off to the Mac Portable, run it off sealed lead acid battery.
Yeah.
I was considering that. Just carry
It'd
along
last
a
about
car
5
battery or
seconds.
something
Yeah.
with it.
And
Yeah.
put a trackball in there too.
I do have to. Okay, I do have a serious question. I have to ask Sean a serious question. Okay, now you have correct me if I'm wrong, you have a dual 2 gigahertz G5 running your Minecraft server, correct?
Correct.
So it's what, a 2004 model?
I think so. It's a 7,3, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an 04.
So I'm just curious, how hot does it get? Because obviously that computer is moving a hell of a lot of information around.
Yeah. Well, it gets toasty.
I'm seriously curious because I have a dual 1.8 I use as a server at work. I've used it for years, and I've never heard the fans go more than like 500 or 600 RPMs on that thing, unless I have the air deflector off. It's the only time I've ever heard the fans go high.
Yeah,
So
the same with mine.
How hot that thing really does get.
In fact, I just made a comment in there about that. You hear everybody talk about how loud, how much of a wind tunnel the G5 is. However, mine, even playing Unreal Tournament, never ramps up the speeds on those things. Like you
Turns
just
out
said,
your fans have been broken for 3 years.
No, because if you take the shroud off, the fan shroud off, like Mike was saying, they ramp up because there's a switch in there to do that.
Yeah.
But you put that fan shroud back on, and it goes back to normal. I mean,
So,
I've,
Sean,
I've
how
had
did yours-
G5s ramp up under heavy load. The
I mean, it
fans also
depends.
ramp up quickly when it's anticipating a heavy load, because if the CPU in a G5 is already up to high temperature, the fan cannot cool it down if it kicks in after the fact. So it kind of has to preemptively ramp up the fans in the G5 towers. But I've never had one go full blast unless it was not calibrated or
Until they ended the project, SETI at home still worked on PowerPC. I ran it on my G5 quad. That's the one and only time I ever heard the fans at max, because that thing tried to toast.
Oh, that thing will make a Mac Pro cry.
Sean,
Yeah.
how's yours
Right.
performing then?
Yeah, it's performing well. I mean, that's the thing, right? Because I have Linux on there. So I have like a 64-bit version of Linux. And, we had to optimize the server a bit. So originally, like, it would spike up to 100% CPU usage, and then you would hear the fans come on. But once we got some of the, the heavy lifting taken off of the server with some plugins, now it hovers at like 40%, spikes up to 60%. I don't really hear the fans
you
at
mean
all.
like
And how many
the thousand
users?
chickens?
Yeah, the 1,000 chickens, that ramped the fans up. I could hear the fans.
So everybody
how was
watching
that, like,
right now,
solid
if you want to see
100%?
Sean break a sweat, everybody log into his server right now and start dumping some
Well,
chickens in
Probably
there.
still full.
Capped at 25, so
25.
I tried to do 30, but it crashed. That was too much.
Now, is yours a dual processor or a single processor dual core?
It's the dual processor. Yeah,
Okay. And so it's a 7,2, you said?
7,3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
Cool.
got Adderley Linux 64-bit on there. No GUI, so just the command line. So everything dedicated to Minecraft.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool, though. I mean, that's the way to do it. I mean, for what you're using it for, I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Actually,
I
I after watching your video of you doing that with yours, I actually thought about maybe converting mine to Linux and maybe actually like learning Linux, because I know there's a lot of differences between Linux and AI. I'm familiar with AIX because we had an RS6000 for almost 20 years. We ran that thing into the ground until like, oh God, what was it, 2016?
Wow.
Sheesh.
2015? Yeah, it was 2015. Yeah, it was it was this 80 megahertz PowerPC 601.
It's like a
That's-
7100.
I think it was time for that thing to
You can
die.
appreciate how slow this thing was. I mean, it
I'd
served
say
its
that's
purpose.
like 2 generations older than the Apple Network server.
Yeah, it did its job very
Wow.
well, and it served us a very long time. But yeah, it was getting bad. When you get 50 or 60,000 records in the software that the computer has to try to search through every time somebody brings a vehicle in, yeah, it gets, oh my God.
I know
Someone
I have.
asked Sean how much RAM is in his G5.
Yeah, it's 8 gigabytes in there. I've got 7 assigned to Minecraft, although it's really not that bad on RAM. I don't think it's gone over like 2, really, that I've seen.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I think that's
pretty
the max you could put in a G5 too, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
Well,
Well, the
except
older
for the
ones.
late 05s, yeah.
I'm going to say the last ones you could put 16 in, I think.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
could
When I
put
have
16, but I've heard rumors that people have done 32. I kind of want to try that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to have a what, a G5 quad or a dual core to do that, don't you?
Yeah, the late 05s, yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
I have
they-
a
they-
dual
Those
processor.
memory
I
modules
thought they
are
still
not
made
going
a
to be cheap.
dual processor in 05 though too, or didn't they?
I don't think that. Well, they did make the early 05 and late 05.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay's right though, because those memory modules, for some reason, the DDR memory for desktops is way expensive for some reason.
Not the ones that Bruce and I found.
yeah, that
So
was
I-
good too.
I have.
We got 16 gigs for like, what was it, $20?
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
I can't remember, but I found a link and I bought them and I sent
got
the
the
link
same
later
one.
and he bought them as well. And I mean, I've got them in my G5. They work beautifully. It's never worked better, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now I have a G5 here that I got it when I got the G3 all-in-one, so I'm not too familiar with the specs. But about this Mac says it's a dual 2 gigahertz PowerPC G5. Does that mean a dual core or a dual processor?
Dual
Yeah,
processor.
dual processor.
Oh, okay, nice. Because the other one I had was a dual core.
Dual core if it's a dual core.
Yay!
Yay.
So basically, you have the same machine that Sean does.
Ooh, we could talk to each other.
It's actually basically the same machine I have. It's probably better because it's got more RAM slots in it.
So it's similar to the Xserve I have that's just sitting horizontally.
Probably. A lot quieter, I'm sure.
Yeah, what do the fans sound like on the Xserve?
It's actually not bad. The Intel one's a bit noisier than it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I have them stacked on top of my old fridge in the basement, and they're on a schedule, so they only turn on when it has to do a backup. But if I'm in my office here, I could kind of hear them turn on. Like I'll do the wake on LAN command, and you'll just hear
Yeah.
In other words, it sounds like a server closet in this basement.
Yeah, I don't think the rabbits like
Yeah.
it too much.
And the rabbits probably jump 5 feet in the
Yeah,
air.
they're like, what the hell is that?
But they
All
don't
right.
I believe we have some people on Discord sending in their setups. You want to
Yes.
get to that?
Well, I was going to show my setup here real quick. I
of
see
course.
some of you guys have your stuff in the background there, like Dana, Grudy, and Sean have their setups in the background. But I do have pictures from them too as well. So first off, I'm going to run 2 different machines for this challenge. The first one I'm running is a G4, a PowerBook G4, which I'm going to use that for my mobile use and everything. And it's running OS 10.4 Tiger. So that way I also have the classic environment in it. So I can actually play Civilization 2 on it and other classic games on there. And then again, I will be using, hold on a second, I got to pull it up, my Power Mac G5. So I have it set up and ready to go. It's I've used it before. I've had it way longer than I've actually had my CMP. So, but I'll be using that, and then I will be using Leopard on that one, 10.5 Leopard. So yeah, but it runs good on there. And that's what I play Unreal Tournament on and stuff like that. So
I love the Murray.
That's why you do with my G5s usually, yeah.
yeah. All right.
Well,
so
8 gigs of RAM, anything
I
Leopard
love
will run good on anything.
what's that?
I said with 8 gigs of RAM, Leopard should run perfect.
Oh yeah, it runs good. I mean, I have 8 gigs of RAM on there. Let me see. Grudy, you got a system up here, so I'll let you talk about your stuff real quick.
I do.
I'm showing a picture right now.
Oh yeah, I just
Oh,
sit
yeah,
that
I
for
do.
the fun of it. I didn't know you actually used that. Yeah,
You don't
one-
need the chat. So
the one in the back would be the yeah, I know, iSight G5 20-inch, which I rebuilt in the video, my last video. That's going to be my daily browse YouTube and stuff. If it
Greg, are
doesn't
you
melt,
flipping?
Which series?
Huh?
huh?
So
I think
which
Rudy is
episode of which
slipping.
series?
You used to be able to say, "Oh, in video 255,
I was just-
did
yeah, I
this.
was
In
like,
video
which
6,
episode
of
I
this?
did this." And now he's like, "My last
Season
video."
4, Episode 8 of the PowerPC series.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And then right in front of it is Season 4, Episode 9, which I haven't finished filming yet, which is the 1.33 PowerBook G4, which is also running, what's it called?
He's slipping.
The Amiga operating system.
Bruce will know.
ProDOS?
It's called
I don't know.
Workbench or something?
Workbench.
Not Workbench. It's
Not Workbench. Well, it's not Amiga.
shoot. I don't remember what it's called right offhand. I'll fill you in when I restart the darn thing.
Sweet.
I'm sure someone's going to tell me. MorphOS. It's running MorphOS also.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So next up is Bruce. I got
hello.
your picture up.
Oh, hello.
Got your picture. So,
Very impressive looking.
Stock image.
I got kind of motivated by Steve and his sort of 68K sort of challenge, and then I just started thinking to myself, what about getting really silly and going System 6? So I've got this 2CI, as you can see, it's loaded up with a SCSI 2SD. It's got a that big board in the middle is a Radius Rocket 68040, 33 megahertz, I think. And then I've got an eMachines display card, and I've got an Ethernet card in there as well. I've got it loaded up with 64 megs of RAM, which is quite a bit for an old System 6 computer. And I just want to see exactly how much I can get done under System 6. As I mentioned on one of the earlier shows, I mean, I used System 6 for a couple of years professionally, and it's not like we were sitting there doing nothing all that time. We did actually do stuff. So I want to just see, how much I can actually do. Now, one of the big problems I have is email, because there is no decent email client under System 6. But what I am thinking I might do is, it's got a very, very basic web browser. If I can make a really, really simple webmail application using my coding skills, I might actually be able to send email from it, just doing it that way. So we'll actually see. And then this is the serious one. So what we're seeing now is that once I've played around with System 6 and realized exactly how much I can't actually do with the thing, I will then jump across onto my G5, which is a dual 2 gigahertz G5 that I bought in 2003 and is loaded up with an SSD and 8 gigs of RAM, and the dual boot 10.4 and 10.5. 10.4, it lives in 10.4 most of the time, but I have to go to 10.5 to use certain applications. So, boo. Yeah, I know, but I mean, as you know, Jay, I mean, the range of applications, there's a lot more that you can run on 10.5 than you can on 10.4 if you're trying to do modern stuff.
That's the reason why I'm doing the same thing as you. I'm running 10.4 on my laptop, but 10.5 on my G5. So
yeah.
All right, Steve,
Necessity.
you're up next.
All right. So as Bruce was mentioning, I was the insane person who decided to try out a 68K machine. So failing my Quadra 840 AV being a pile of stuff, my Quadra 800 is going to be sitting in for that. So that's a Motorola 68040, 33 megahertz. We have 139 megabytes of memory, so that thing is maxed out. I have your floppy drive, an external CD-ROM drive. I have the SCSI 2SD version 6 with 16 gigabytes of memory. Storage space, rather. Go back to the other one. Got the Rastrops Paintbrush NuBus video card. Got the Radius Video Vision Studio AV card that I'm still trying to get to work right. But it's triple booting 7.1, 7.6, and Mac OS 8. And I'm using that lovely little mouse that reminds me so much of the Puck mouse because it's very responsive and it's just ridiculously adorable. But you can see
your matrix code is running the wrong way.
That mouse pad was from geeks.com, this old computer store thing that used to give you garbage. And that mouse pad is garbage, but it's the only one that fits in that with that giant keyboard there. But the AV ports under the monitor, that's the Radius Video Vision breakout box. I have a Minolta Scan Super Scan 35 Plus or something like that for slide scanning. I don't know how much of that I'm going to do. And that was the monitor I rescued from the e-waste place. So that's the setup there. That's going to be the main machine. I'm going to try and do most of the stuff on there. But I do have a supporting machine. You could go back to the other image now. It's a PowerBook 12-inch. I love the PowerBook 12-inch.
I have
So
that.
that's a 1.5 gigahertz. Has a maxed out 1.25 gigs of RAM. A GeForce FX Go 5200. It's running Tiger. I need to put a better hard drive in there, and there is a piece of tape holding the battery in. Because I got it from an anyways place, and the battery lasts like 3 hours, but the clip on the battery is broken. So
Sean
it
and I
doesn't
have
quite
the same PowerBook.
Yep.
Nice. It's an excellent machine. And
Jay sold me mine for $35.
there you go.
Nice.
And so there are a few supporting machines. I got the PowerMac G5 dual 2 gigahertz. I got the Xserve dual 2 gigahertz. There's the Power Computing Power Center Pro 180 clone, and the Mac Mini G4. So they'll all be helping out each other. But I'm going to try, because I loaded a bunch of stuff on the Quadra. I should be able to do some basic stuff on there and keep most of my time between the Quadra and the PowerBook, I think.
Okay. All
Hey,
right.
Steve, I do have to make one comment, though.
Yes, sir.
That monitor is absolutely freaking gorgeous.
I
Yes, it
have.
is.
By
I
the
have.
way,
I
I
have.
know the casing is all screwed up, but damn,
Oh,
is that thing nice looking?
There's only one scratch on the screen, and I just polished it, and it's not too bad. But I have a VGA cord because it has a BNC connector, which is plugged into the Quadra, and then there's a VGA port on it too, so it has 2 display ports on it. So I have the VGA port running out, and so I have the PowerBook I could plug into it, or the G5, and they look phenomenal on it. It's amazing. Got to play some Unreal Tournament with you guys using that monitor.
Ooh,
Yes.
All right.
That's
Very
me.
nice.
So next up will be Sean, and you could tell us about what your setup's going to be.
All right, yeah. So I'm super excited about my setup. So first off, I have my G4 Cube, which is running right back there.
Well, actually,
That's my.
that's not the picture I have up, but
Okay, so we'll start with the G5. So technically, I'm going to run 3 machines, right? But one's just kind of running in the background. So I set up my dual G5, 2 gigahertz with 8 gigs of RAM, 7,3, with Adderley Linux 64-bit running modern 64-bit Java, so I can host a Minecraft server. And I'm hoping to spend a lot of time playing Minecraft from my G4 Cube over there during the challenge. And we've had a ton of people come into the server. It's been pretty great. They've built a lot of crazy stuff in there. It's very awesome. So actually, if you'd like to play Minecraft with us on your PowerPC machine, come join our PowerPC server hosted right there in my house on my G5.
Now,
And
wait
actually,
a
the
minute.
fan is becoming a little bit squeaky over time.
If you have a thermal camera, it would just all be
Squeak.
red in that corner.
Whole room
Was
turned
that a
red.
picture of Big Sur on your cube?
Yeah. So if you go back to that image, now I want to try to do as much stuff as possible on the cube. So the cube, which is sitting right back there, it's got a Sonnet 1.2 gigahertz processor upgrade in there. I've got it maxed out with RAM, so 1.5 gigs of memory. And
He's screen
it's got
sharing.
Leopard on there, which is, the best version of macOS for PowerPC App. And
Sorry, that just came out.
yeah, so I want to do as much stuff on Leopard as possible. Now, there are some work apps that I have to use, and they're very, heavy. One's a very heavy Java application, for example. And it's never going to run on the cube. So I figure if I can spend all the time physically in front of the cube, using the cube's keyboard, the monitor, going through the cube, it has the capability to do it.
Right.
I can do it through the cube. So
In other
Well,
words,
that's
it's
cheating, sir.
Yeah, cheated.
So I'm going to have to cheat and remote into.
All right, it makes you
I'm going to
admit
have to be
It's all right.
creative. In my
That
usage of
must
the
be like
cube.
me sitting in front of my Mac Pro and going into my iMac and saying, "Hey, I'm using a Power Mac."
Hey, well, I'm using a feature that's part of the cube. It's in the operating system of the cube. So I'd say it's only about 40% cheating.
if you're not using 50% of the
That sounds more
CPU,
like 46.3%.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Yeah. And then the third computer I'm going to use is my Wall Street PowerBook. and I put Tiger on there, which runs surprisingly well, so I can use 10.4 Fox, and I can browse websites,
Slowly.
browse-ish.
Yeah.
They do eventually load, but the main thing I want to do is play through all of Wolfenstein 3D. So I want to play Minecraft on the Cube and play Wolfenstein 3D all the way through on the Wall Street.
So is your wife going to participate too, as far as playing Minecraft on a PowerPC?
Yeah, I have her set up on the 12-inch PowerBook actually.
Really?
Which gives very good frame rates in Minecraft 1.2.5. It gets like
It does, yeah.
60 frames. Yeah.
And then those fans start screaming, and I freak out.
It's part of the ambiance.
It gets hot too, though, man. I've never had that little G4 get so hot, and I just thought, I don't know. It's like 15 years old. I don't want to tempt fate here with it.
I mean, there's a reason we have this challenge in the winter. You don't want to do this when it's 90 degrees outside.
I figure it might
Minecraft
be the solder in there a bit. Playing Minecraft.
The 867 megahertz version, Dana, was hotter than anything. And I remember asking somebody, well, why didn't they just round it up and overclock it to 900 megahertz? And they're like, Steve, you realize they probably overclocked it to be 867. I'm like, oh boy. That explains why it gets so hot.
So Dana, how about your setup? I didn't have any pictures to show, but
yeah, well, it's right here. This is a workgroup server 9650, basically a PowerMac 9600. This was the server version, so it has an ultra SCSI card in it. It has a 100 base T Ethernet card in it. So I wanted to use this because it was older than your G3s and G4s, but yet I was originally going to use a 601 based Mac clone, Radius, and it would have been fine. But when I put the G3 upgrade in it, which made everything so much easier on it, the new bus adapter was aimed the wrong way. It was aimed toward the CPU, so I had no room to put my upgraded graphics card in it. So I was stuck at 640 by 480 on one screen. So that wasn't going to work. But this one I can put dual screens on eventually, which I am going to do. It has 672 megs of RAM installed and a 4 gig ultra SCSI hard drive, and I have 3 others that it came with. I took them out because I was having some SCSI ID address issues, but I'm going to put one other one in because recently I found on my storage drive an installer for BOS, and I want to try it. So I think I'm going to put that on the other hard drive. It's running 9.1, and I was running After Dark earlier. There's a patcher on Macintosh Garden that lets you run After Dark. It's called After Dark 9, and it's really cool how they basically retrofitted After Dark, which did not make a version past 4 for OS 9, because otherwise it would just crash. It would just not work. So. And I've loaded up all period-specific software for graphic design. I've got InDesign 1.5 for OS 9, and I'm not really enthused about trying that one out because I remember back in the day how much that crashed. But I also have PageMaker on it. I have Quark Express. I have Freehand 10, Illustrator 9, Photoshop 6.
Quark was still king.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, and then for my bridge machine, because using the web on this, trying to download things from the garden is just horrendously slow. The actual speed of downloading is slow. It just doesn't go very fast. So I set up my G4 Mini as a bridge machine, which used to be, and to my surprise, still can be. It was running Leopard before, and it was slow, but I thought I needed Leopard for iTunes home sharing. And I found out that iTunes 9.2 something can run on Tiger, and it has home sharing, so it just flies now. And I put an SSD in it. It's a mSATA SSD, like the upgrade that Sean did for his Pismo. So yeah, so it's running great. It's going to be a good bridge machine. Downloads nice and quick, runs nice and quick. So I'm trying to keep it to 2 machines, but I think I am going to have to set up my G5 1.8 gigahertz for Minecraft.
All right, Jay. How
Are
about
you
Saying
gonna-
that PowerBook just yeah, it's freaking me out. I think it's going to melt.
Are you going to run an Apple share server so us crazy PowerPC and 68K kids can connect to you?
Am I?
Yes. Oh, I didn't hear you.
I don't know
You
how to
broke
set
up.
that up.
Oh, I'll do it.
How about you, Jay? What do you plan on running?
I was planning a lot of things, but I currently have nothing set up. I got a little.
Clean your office even.
I cleared out the desk space, had it all planned out, and then a 3D printer arrived, and I got kind of sidetracked.
Just drag out the MDD again. It's already installed.
Yeah, but there's no space with the printer there.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have a
Put it on the
ceiling.
floor.
Yeah.
Put the tower.
So, as it's looking right now, I also got a decent amount of work coming this week or next week. It looks like I may not be participating, but we'll see what
Jay,
happens.
that is not going to fly.
Yeah, not acceptable.
No way.
Not
Especially
acceptable.
you've been hassling all of us.
We're at least going to have to get you to play some Unreal Tournament
Oh, you know I'll be there for that.
this weekend.
On a G4.
On a G4 or a G5.
Yeah, I plan on playing it on my G5. So
I can do that.
And we need video proof that you're actually on a PowerPC.
yeah.
With a puck.
That might be tricky.
Ah! See?
The puck mouse is the default. I mean, it's going to have that either way.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. If we play UT, I will be using 1% of a PowerPC, which is the puck mouse.
What about you, Mike? You've already said one thing, kind of.
Well,
what
I'm
you were
running.
doing.
I'm running a somewhat unimpressive iMac.
No, it's actually not that unimpressive.
I am running a 20-inch iMac G5 iSight, which is actually the identical computer to what Greg has in his background there. So if you don't know what one looks like, just look at Greg.
It's not identical to it.
Yours
Well,
is a
From the
prototype,
front it
isn't it?
is. So,
From the front, it is, yeah.
so I have a prototype G5 iMac iSight. And really, the only difference is the fact that I have a compact flash and SD card reader on the back that the production models do not. But it's loaded up with, it's got a G5 with 2.1 gigahertz. I have 2.5 gigs of memory, which is its maximum, and that's DDR2. I have a 250 gig, excuse me, SSD in it. Running, of course, Tiger, because there is no other operating system to run on an iMac G5. And I actually, this machine, I haven't done anything with this machine. I mean, I've had it set up this way for a couple of years now, pretty much since I bought it. I've done some tweaks and updated, upgraded some stuff on it, but other than that, it's the same machine I've always had, and I've got it full of games. I did get a copy of Adobe Creative Suite, not that I'm really probably going to do anything, but I did get Final Cut Pro 3, which I actually forgot. I must have installed it before and forgot. I did, and I've actually been kind of toying with the idea of maybe trying to make a video with it for my channel. I don't know how well that's going to work. I tried farting around with it the other day, and it's like it's kind of confusing to me because I'm used to Final Cut Pro 10. So
I want to see someone get Final Cut Pro 7 to run. Because originally it was supposed to be universal, and some people got it to run, but I never could get it to run.
Sounds like you have a job to do, Grudy.
I've been trying for years, Steve.
I'll just use Premiere 1.0. That's all.
So I don't know, that might be an adventure, but unfortunately the downside is the fact that I don't have any place to set the computer up properly. It's in my bedroom on my dresser. So I mean, I do have an office chair in there and everything. Of course, the cats have taken it over, but we'll see how it works. I don't have any other PowerPC machines. I only own two. Well, I shouldn't say. My PowerBook right now is dead. It needs a new power adapter. Actually, I thought about playing with that.
Quicksilver needs a fan.
Huh?
The G4 needs a fan.
No, the Quicksilver. No, the Quicksilver's good. The Quicksilver's ready. So actually, I do have that. I lied. I actually have the Quicksilver that I could use. The Sawtooth is the one that needs a power supply, which is what happens when you try to run four hard drives in a CD-ROM off of a 165 watt power. I mean, I have the iMac G3. I have my Ruby iMac too, but I don't know if I'd want to even try to attempt to do anything remotely intensive on that thing. I mean, it would probably the plastic would probably just finish disintegrating more than it already has.
Now, circling back to the iMac, for those in the audience watching that are new or may have forgotten, he's sitting there saying, "Oh, it's the same iMac I've always had." He forgets to mention that it's a prototype iMac G5, and if you want to see more about it, he has a video on his channel, which is pretty
I'm
damn
tearing
cool.
it down, which was cool.
I have many. I actually have several videos on my channel of that iMac.
Including hard drive upgrade and stuff.
I have
Right?
the
He has a
one.
whole
I have
playlist.
the original one I did of me streaming the day like 2 days after I got it. Jay talked me into tearing it down,
I did too.
and then so I did that, and then
We all gave you peer pressure.
I
by
did I think a 2 or 3 part series of. I tore it down to its bits, tore everything, all the heat sinks off and everything, and redid all the thermal paste because, of course, it's a G5. The thing runs at like 3,000 freaking degrees.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it's just because it's an iMac. The cooling system sucks.
Yep.
So the towers
take
don't
the
run
back
that
off.
hot. It's the iMacs do because there's no airflow.
You can't
I-
take the back off, Steve. You have to take the front
Kidding,
off.
obvious.
Yeah, but that's when I upgraded to memory. I upgraded to the SSD. I redid the paste on all 3 heat sinks because those do have dedicated graphics in them. What else did I do? I did something else too. I don't remember what. But yeah, I have multiple videos on that computer overall. And it's an awesome little machine for what it is. So, I have no complaints. It's the best $50 I ever spent.
Didn't you try to get it to boot off an SD card? Did that ever work?
No.
Ah.
No, because the problem is the SD card reader is on the USB bus. It's tied into the USB, and of course, a PowerPC natively can't boot from
Right.
USB. I mean, there's ways you can go into open firmware, and I tried going into open
Type in a
firmware and
command.
trying to make it do it. I got frustrated and gave up.
It's still going to be slow.
Oh, it's going to be very slow.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not too bad on USB 2, actually. That's how I put OS on here once.
No,
At
but-
Jay's house,
No, I
actually.
was talking about booting and actually running the computer off the CF card. Like
Oh,
in lieu of the heart.
on the CF card, that would probably
Yeah,
not
Yeah,
be fine.
and it's not going to be like the extreme speed CF cards.
Now, let me tell you, copying files from the hard drive to the SD card is ridiculously slow. Transferring files from the hard drive to a USB stick is actually pretty reasonable. I think it's just a limitation of. I don't even know if the compact flash card reader is even on a USB 2 bus. It might even be on 1.1. I have to look.
It's on the same controller when we
Is
took it
it?
apart and looked at the schematic and everything.
Okay, so I think it's just a limitation because I was using a brand new 64 gig SD card, so I mean it's not like I was using an old slow card or anything like that. So,
Well,
but
the reader can probably only read certain speed.
it's a
Yeah.
good possibility. It could
I,
probably
I wouldn't.
it probably is only going to run the compact flash card at the speeds that were common in 2004.
And you got to remember, compact flash is running off an IDE protocol, and then
Yeah.
it's got to transfer through the USB bus.
So, because the SD card reader, when it actually decides to work, which is somewhat infrequently, will only read standard SD cards. It will not read high capacity. It won't.
Yeah.
It won't read anything over 4 gigs. And if it's
Yeah.
a 4 gig HC card, it won't read it at all.
Yeah.
So, but That's something I will probably revisit one of these days. I just I kind of gave up on it for the moment because I get frustrated easily sometimes, especially when it comes to trying to deal with open firmware. That's just a freaking nightmare. So
Yeah, nobody has fun when they're playing with open firmware.
Well, I like
Yeah,
open
no
firmware.
oh my lord.
Except Sean. Sean lives in open
Trying to
firmware.
install Linux on these things, you're always in open
Yeah.
firmware.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe I might want to rethink about installing Linux on my G5. I mean, I have no problems dealing with command. I mean, I've dealt with command line my entire life.
Yeah.
So that's not the issue. It's just, oh my God, anytime I have to go into open firmware on a PowerPC machine, it's excruciating.
Especially
I
a
think
G5.
The G5 is easier because it has the UD alias for the USB device.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, then it's a nightmare.
But the G5, when you're in open firmware, the fans are on full blast the whole time, too. So you're going deaf at the same time, too.
Actually, my iMac doesn't do that.
Really? Mine does.
Yeah.
That prototype life.
Either that or I just didn't take notice to it. I know my tower does.
Trust me, you take notice to it.
So,
All right, so we talked about the machines. Greg, do we have time to talk about
Well, we
Some
have
of the
some
things-
more
Well,
people.
we got
their machines.
some more. I was waiting
And
on.
I have to say, I got a, shall we call it a request or a threat? I'm not sure, but Trina said that if we don't show hers, then we're in trouble.
All right.
Oh,
Well, in fact, hers is the very
Greg,
first one.
Rudy's
Up.
the only one in trouble.
So
That's-
hers is the first one. So there we go.
Okay, let's
she
go.
can't.
Nice.
She can't complain
Oh,
now.
nice.
Who's
Very
it?
nice.
Who's this?
This is Trina's.
Yeah,
I like that fact.
Ah,
Yeah, me too.
So does the keyboard not work? Is that the reason why you have a keyboard on there, or?
No, that's so you can use as a desktop. That's what I would guess.
More
That's
than
because you
likely.
got the mouse in there too. Yeah, because it's like far away.
if you need a number pad, there you go.
That's true.
Yeah, there you go. Excellent. I love
fine.
that.
It's
PowerPoint.
blue.
Is that a
and
15 or a
soft.
17?
It looks like a
she just
17.
prefers to use it as
This
a
is
desktop.
17. Yeah, because I have the same. I have the same
Yeah.
one that I'm going to be using.
Let me see the info. This is a PowerBook G4 17-inch with a 1.33 processor and 2 gigs of RAM, and currently
Nice.
running Tiger.
Mine's a 1.5
Nice.
gigahertz
Oh, yeah.
processor, so just slightly better processor, but the same body, everything else.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's the
And
same.
mine's basically the same as hers, except mine's a 15.
Yeah,
So it's not the same.
yeah. All right,
It's same
so
CPU and RAM.
next one is Alex, our ex-TAC DK.
What?
So that's our next submission, our user submission from Discord.
Yeah, that's he will be using the G5 and the Quicksilver for the
Nice.
challenge.
Stats.
Nice.
Nice.
I either didn't get specs or I forgot to write them down. I'm sorry.
Tower
So
of
is he gonna
towers.
use the G5 once the power supply and the Quicksilver dies, or
Once the plastic of the Quicksilver melts into the G5, he'll use the G5.
There you go.
They're already fused together.
what kind of specs are we dealing with? Did he mention or?
Well, like I said, I may have forgotten to write them down, or he didn't give them to me.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
I'm just curious.
Next up is Charlie, aka Master Gecko 4.
Oh,
He
nice.
has iMac G3 500 megahertz Snow with 512 megs of RAM and a 14-inch iBook G4 1 gigahertz with 1.25 gigs of RAM.
Nice.
Not sure on the
Beautiful
OS,
timeline
but
on
that
the
looks
wall.
like Panther. The iMac.
I don't know.
Tiger.
That's
Tiger
Tiger.
on the right.
Looks like
Oh
Tiger.
yeah, I see a
It's the
spotlight. So that's
Panther
Tiger.
wallpaper.
Yeah.
And he's insane running Tiger on an iMac G3.
Well, if he'd max
Oh,
out to
512
a
RAM.
gig of RAM, it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. On
All
half
right.
a gig, maybe, but
Eh.
it'd be functional.
All right,
Yeah.
next up we have Ed from Ed Retro Tech.
I know
Yay.
it's here, but I'll read it off anyway. That is the 12-inch
Popular
PowerBook
machine
G4,
today.
1.5 gigahertz, 1.5 gigs of RAM, and an
Nice.
mSATA drive. So that thing probably flies.
Yeah,
Nice.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty wicked little PowerBook.
I'm gonna do that
Yeah.
to mine.
It's so cute.
That's what I have.
I've done that to mine.
And his
I mean-
battery is being held in, not with tape.
Oh,
I mean, the drive in that machine from the factory isn't bad. I mean, I think it's a 7,200 RPM drive. It's
No,
quick.
2,200.
That little machine is quick.
Yeah, but
32
once
for
you
a
drop
G4.
it once and break it,
Well, I don't drop
trust
them.
me.
Yeah.
I didn't drop mine, but mine came broken, and man, was that
his
not fun.
dog dropped his.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have to ask a question about the 12-inch PowerBook G4. Does it have a backlit keyboard?
No.
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 Oh, that's
Although the keys are transparent in the center of
Yeah.
the letters for some reason.
Like
could
they wanted
probably-
to. So
Yeah, so when you run it hot enough and it starts
Sean.
glowing on the inside, the keys
Exactly.
will light up.
Exactly.
Sean's gonna put RGB lights in his.
There you
Yeah,
go.
just
Okay.
put a strip down there.
And I should give a shout out to Ed as well. He's been really helpful, helping me get familiar with 3D printing and settings and all that stuff. So, thanks, Ed.
Yeah.
What
Hey,
game is
Ed.
that running?
Looks like a
Anybody know
basketball
what
game.
that is?
Looks like a basketball game.
That's Indie. He told me. Wait.
Oh,
it's
Indie-
Indie 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Next
Nice.
up is Europa or Ben H on Discord.
Another couple PowerBooks.
Yep, I got some info on that as well.
damn. Everybody's got these 17-inch
That
PowerBooks.
one isn't.
That's an
no,
iBook, isn't it?
That's an
That's a
iBook.
17-inch early 2005 PowerBook G4,
And an iBook.
1.67 gigahertz, 2 gigs of RAM,
That's an
and
iBook G4.
Radeon 9700. Unfortunately, it is running Leopard. Bad choice, but that's
Good
just
choice.
Sorry to hear that, but okay. Yeah,
next to that is a dual USB iBook G3, 500 megahertz with 640 megs of RAM, and
First
API
model.
Rage Mobility running OS 9 and Tiger. There you go.
Nice.
And it
Nice.
has a smelly
Uh,
keyboard.
The plan is to
Yeah.
use the PowerBook for most things, including more modern gaming, web browsing, and other tasks. And iBook will be used for Discord, through the Macintosh Garden IRC bridge, older games, and portable computing.
I think we had to
Nice.
ban Michael because he just dissed Tiger.
What?
He says Tiger
yeah,
sucks.
aiming for
I love
timeout.
Leopard. Tiger sucks.
Yeah, I think
All right.
both Leopard
That's
and
a banner
Tiger
of
have
offense right
places.
there.
All right. Next.
Leopard's places on most things.
Yeah. Next up in line is Logan from Crazy Tech Reviews. This is his setup.
Do I have
Another-
info on that? Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
That
there's
is
12 inch.
1.5 gigahertz PowerBook G4.
G4s.
Nice.
Another 12-inch. That's
I
awesome.
should have grabbed mine from next door and used that, apparently.
I forgot I have a 17
late.
until I'm seeing these pictures now, and I'm
I mean,
jealous.
most of the stuff on this one is external screen, external hard drive, audio interface, and all that stuff.
That's a nice setup.
He says, I'm hoping I might actually be able to edit video on this.
Whoa.
You can. I was
You
talking to him
can.
about it before.
Yep.
As long as the video codecs are supported by the machine of the error, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Michael or .exe on
Let's
Discord.
see.
And it's hard to
could've
see.
turned
I
the
think
light
that's I
Is
think
it?
that's the first quad in the lineup. We got a G5 quad, 9 gigs
Okay.
of RAM, ATI X1900,
So he's
And,
decided to
work?
do it the easy
Yeah.
way.
and the 1
Overkill
terabyte Western Digital 20-inch cinema display, and it's running Tiger, and he hopes to use it for everything. So
Yeah.
Might
he
well
should
be able to.
I'm going to say with a G5 quad, yeah, he's not going to be hurting too bad, but even then, it's still going to be kind of sluggish, especially on the internet.
Only his electric bill will be hurting.
Yeah. Now
So-
that's a liquid cooled, isn't it? Or is that
Yeah.
air cooled?
That's
Yeah,
liquid.
it's
Gotta be
liquid.
liquid.
Okay.
If it's a quad, it's liquid. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
what
we
I-
go from the quads to the next one, which is quite a step in the other direction.
Yeah. Way in the other direction.
Oh
That
Lord.
is Scarlet Swordfish
Yep.
Mac Plus with 4 megs of RAM and a 20 megabyte external hard drive.
That is
running
probably
system
the-
Nice.
605.
That is the challenge right there. So
Yeah, okay.
That's-
So
yeah.
I thought
He
I set a
actually
crazy
did set a challenge for himself. He says, my challenge is to draw 1 picture a day on it and also stream some games from it on Saturdays on his Twitch channel.
Oh, wow.
Who's
Who's this
Which if
again?
you're,
is he gonna
if you're
point
on
a
our
camera
Discord
at it?
server,
Or?
if you're on our Discord, he will advertise the streams as they happen.
Who's this
I
again?
want to know what system he's running on.
Scarlet Swordfish.
What version of Photoshop is that?
That'd be
That looks like
2 or
LE.
1.
Yeah,
I was
2
gonna
or
say
1.
it looked like an LE because it almost have to be on a floppy disk. Unless there's a hard drive in there.
Yeah, it's a hard drive under it.
Yeah, he has a 20 meg hard drive on it.
Photoshop 2, he says.
Yeah,
Photoshop
2.0 came on a floppy disk, so you can.
Yeah.
And system 6.0.5.
5. Wow. Okay. Yep.
Now, my
okay.
plan was to kind of go into, what is some good software to have. But we're coming up on 2 hours, so I don't think there's time for that. We're just
We
going to have
could
to
put in our individual
to the website,
blogs,
Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna, and to be honest with you, we got machines going from, I mean, good lord, we got everything going from a Mac Plus to a Quad G5. I mean, we're covering
Everything.
from 1986 all the way up to 2005 here. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you
that's
want
quite
to
a
learn
spread.
about some,
Subject, Jay.
if you want to learn about some good apps and stuff you can run on your PowerPC or 68K, go grab your G5, load up 10.4 Fox, and watch some PowerPC series from my channel.
Assuming that you don't.
Shameless.
Oh, that's shame. I was gonna say it's a shameless self-promotion right there, huh?
Yeah.
We
I
don't
didn't
have
even make an overlay for
I know, I was
shameless
gonna say.
self-promotion because I knew we were going to run long.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I want to try and do with the Quadra, if I could get that video capture card to work, I obviously have old AV equipment. I would love to just shoot an update to the PowerPC Challenge with the little camera and try and edit it with that thing. I don't know. I might have to, just do it on the PowerBook if it doesn't work. But that's going to be
called a challenge for a reason.
Yes, you're going to see me with even less hair at the end of the week.
All right, so anything else, guys, before we close it down for tonight?
No,
Just-
I mean, I had a solid half hour carved out
Yeah.
for making fun of RGB lighting, but there's no time.
Now, next week we could talk about how the PowerPC Challenge went for each one of us, at least for us here on Mac Yak, and we want to hear everybody else too in Discord. So if you're running the PowerPC Challenge, keep us informed on Discord how it's going. I think Jay is probably going to run another blog on mac-yak.com, and there we can keep track of everything there. I don't know if he's going to consolidate everything like he did before or not, or we're just going to keep it on Discord. I mean,
No, I think the idea was at the end of the week, people write something up or make a video, and I'll put it all on the website.
okay.
Oh.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Looks like we are almost right at 2 hours. Huh?
Yeah, let everyone just talk. Let Sean talk about the Minecraft thing one more time.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
we can
yeah,
get
yeah.
That
Go for it.
maxed out. Get his room on fire.
Yeah, so the one thing I wanted to say is that if anybody wants to try and join the Minecraft server, it's open to everybody. PowerPC or not, one of the fun things is that it's been a mix of people playing with old computers and new computers. So I don't think I can paste the link into chat, but if somebody is able to paste that.
I got it.
Which link?
Yeah, it's
I got
a link to the
He's
video
got
where I installed the server and set up Adley Linux and stuff.
Ah,
But that also
Ooh.
has instructions
Damn, Mike, you're
on
quick.
how to
Mike.
join our server. So it would be a lot of fun if you join and come take a look at all of the crazy stuff that everyone has built.
Does it explain how to use Minecraft?
There
Yeah.
are plenty of
Take
12-year-olds on YouTube that tell
Take
you that.
this thing,
it.
move around.
Don't die.
I tell you what, Bruce. Even if you don't, because I'll be honest with you, I never touched Minecraft until the other day. Even if you just go in and just fly around and just look at stuff, it's actually quite amazing. The
Well,
stuff people have actually made in this
Yeah.
game.
I'll tell you what it does. It keeps telling me something about password. Register password, confirm
Yes,
password.
I'll tell you how to do that. Don't worry, Bruce.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you have to do that within like 30 seconds or it'll boot you out.
Yeah.
And once
Like
you log
that.
in again, you just confirm it, and then you're good.
Yeah.
Now, what I would like to see for next week's show, when we conclude the challenge, is some cool screenshots from Minecraft, stuff people are building and stuff.
Or Saturday night, if we can do that, we're going to get a UT04 game going. We need to do that. We haven't done that in a while.
Oh,
Yeah.
this Saturday I can't.
I want to see everybody on Power. I know it's Vintage Gaming Lounge, but which we actually have Intels, but I'd like to see everybody play on PowerPCs. Or
Yeah, we'll advertise it on Discord.
yeah. So normally we play UT04, but we can actually play UT99 as well. I know that Jay hosts the UT04 server, and who hosts the 99 one now?
Chris. His name is Chris. He's in the Facebook group. He's not on Discord.
And if one's not up, I can always just plug in a machine.
Yeah. So
And a special request from Trina. Greg, please get off your ass and send that package. Thank you.
say Grudy, because you keep saying Greg. I think you're saying me.
Everybody knows which Greg I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Talk to her on Facebook, thank you.
How many sentences with caps lock enabled is she sending you right now, Greg?
Where's my
All of them.
iPod?
It's not
Now,
that bad.
there's no real time for a shameless self-promotion from everybody, but I would like to know what Sean is going to be up to in the coming time for his
Or
channel.
Minecraft.
Apart from Minecraft.
So, actually, this Saturday morning, I'm putting up a video of a tour of some of the cool stuff that people have built in the Minecraft server.
Ooh.
That was a lot of fun to film, and some of the people in the server are actually in the video. It's already up on my Patreon if you're on my Patreon.
Cool, I'll have to check
I
it
think
out.
I'm there.
Nice.
I think I flew in front of you at one point, Sean, because I'm like, oh, that's Sean. And I'm like, oh, wait, he's probably recording.
Yeah. I was like floating next to him for the longest time. I mean, he's just staring off into space, and I was like, Sean's recording something.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I told
Well,
Sean
that
I'm gonna
one.
install it on my G5 and just play around with it a little bit right after the show tonight. So it's gonna be interesting.
Nice.
To
Just
get on there and try
remember,
it.
you have to.
I
you
kn-
have to
I know
install
this is blasphemy, but
1.5.
since I don't have anything set up right now, can I log into your server from my Mac Pro and look around?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so anybody can join with any computer. And actually, when you join, there's a wall that people built, and they've signed it with all the specs of the different machines that they've used.
So where
Which
is that?
super
'Cause I
cool
don't know.
to see.
I zoomed past it.
Is that
Yeah,
right at
so-
spawn?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
I'd
right
say it's
near
right at
spawn. I
spawn
think
point.
it's like if you spawn and then go straight from spawn, you'll hit like a big long wall of wood.
What color?
Right.
Oh, okay. I'll
Yeah.
join now and find it.
Okay, so
But
when
there's
you
like
do this,
100 signs on there of everybody's specs, and they go all the way from like a iMac G3 with a G4 upgrade up to like Ryzen machines. So
yeah.
yeah, it's
That
pretty
poor
great.
iMac.
All of us
Yeah,
playing
poor
together.
iMac.
So when you do this, you need to go to the links in your video to download the specific version. If you're using a PowerPC, you got to download the specific version of Minecraft from the Macintosh Garden.
Yep.
Install that, and then you have to make sure you have OS runtime for Java, correct? Installed.
Yeah, so you just have to make sure you
Version
have
8?
your Java upgraded. I think anything 6 or higher will run it.
6 or higher. Okay.
Is
Yeah.
this all covered in your video?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the description of the video, there's the instructions.
With the address and everything.
Yeah.
That's what you'll see.
Yeah, so you'll see
Yeah.
my hands wave around, which is my
The
My-
most
my
famous hands on
family.
YouTube.
yeah.
You don't want to be more famous. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Not too late. Once you're on Mac Yak, fame
The
just.
celebrity maker Mac Yak. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, look what we did to Bruce.
Because I still haven't seen his subscribers.
Well, I think the first time I was on Mac Yak, I had like 500 subscribers, and now it's grown a little bit.
You're
Yeah,
what,
well,
around
you have
11,000 now?
Just
Nearly
about
13.
13?
13,000?
Jeez.
Wow.
Crazy.
Very cool.
Yep. So
Yeah,
guys,
we'll take full credit for that.
all right, guys. So that's going to wrap up our show for this evening. And thanks for everybody for showing up. We actually had a pretty good crowd tonight. We actually got up to 49 at one point at the very end of the night too. Not at
Nice.
the beginning, but we're getting up there, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, or as
Hit that
Bruce
there like
says it.
button.
Smash that like button.
There we go. Make sure you hit that. Make sure you also, if you haven't yet, subscribe to us. We only do this once a week, so you're only going to get one alert a week.
Sometimes, if notifications work.
Yeah, if notifications work. In fact, I didn't get a
That's
notification.
why we have a
this time.
Twitter.
So
That's where we got the Twitter as well.
yeah. So also we have a Discord server, which I don't have a overlay for, but Jay, can you post a link in there?
He did before.
But
Dun, dun,
he can do it
dun.
again. But make sure you guys get on that Discord server. It's really growing. I think we've got more people on the Discord server than we got subs, so we'll have to see. But it's really growing.
I haven't counted in a while.
Yeah, it's really growing, and it's a good community. I think it's one of the better Discord servers out there as far as Mac stuff goes. So
It's certainly better than Grudy's Discord, where I'm the one saying hi to new people that join because he's never there.
Yes, thank you, Jag. I forgot I had a Discord.
I know.
Why? Look at this way. It's better than my Discord.
You have a Discord?
I do not have or want a Discord.
I don't even know how to use it. Steve, I was
just
trying
like IRC.
I was trying to get on Sean's Minecraft server, and I got frustrated because I couldn't figure out how in the hell to do something. This guy's saying, like, ping me if you want to get on. I was like, what the hell's a ping?
Oh, that's something else.
I called Steve. I said, Steve, like, what the heck does this mean? Like, how do you do this?
That's something else that we should mention is Steve has a video showing how to get onto Discord using an old machine, specifically through an IRC application.
Yep.
So go check that out because I need to do that with mine sometime.
Apparently, it's slightly against the terms of service, but I don't think no one's going to care.
terms of service, bah, who cares?
Yeah. No one reads those.
That's right. I never read them. Except I think, what's his name did one time? Ken. He read the terms of service for an Apple. I forget what Apple product. I think it was something.
On his stream or video.
On his stream, he read the whole terms of service.
God.
What was that, like 3 hours long?
Probably. I don't know.
Watch the hits come rolling in.
He
Makes
did
my
it.
streams seem interesting.
Yeah, he did it live, so I don't think he'll ever do that again. So, but so, anyways, guys, so it's been fun, but we got to get going here, and you guys take care, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
See you guys.
See ya.
Thanks. Now get lost.